Welcome to my channel, Outside the Levees. I'm Jared Serenay, and today I'm heading into hurricane-stricken areas of Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes in coastal Louisiana. On August 29, 2021, Hurricane Ida came crashing into Louisiana's coast as a very dangerous Category 4 storm. With winds over 150 miles per hour, Ida shredded many homes and fishing camps to pieces. Residents are still without power and running water, and many feel that they are already being forgotten. This is an attempt to get their story out there. Let's get it started. Alright, so we just loaded up. I've got lots of supplies to bring down to both Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes. You know, both of these parishes were right in the eye of Hurricane Ida. And a lot of the people who live there live outside of a major levee system. So there was really not much to protect them from the storm's path. A lot of wind damage. I think the closer you get to the Gulf, there was a lot of water damage as well. And I'll be frank, I really don't know what to expect. I just know that these areas were hit hard. I've been able to keep up with some folks on Facebook and figure out where to go down there and who to talk to and who to help. I've got a few folks who I'm scheduled to talk to, but I'm also willing to pull over and interview folks and hand out supplies if needed as well. I had some friends who donated to get all these supplies. We've got toiletries, we've got wipes, we've got baby supplies, and a lot of dog food because, you know, we still got to take care of our pups. So hopefully we can help a few families out when we get down there. You know, the last thing I want to do is just show up with a camera. And yeah, it's important to tell their story because I feel like, you know, some of these coastal parishes' story got left out when they were talking about Ida. But you don't want to just show up with a camera and not have anything in case they need it. I'm about to get on the road and make the long drive down. So I'm driving through a swamp here, right outside of Lafourche, Louisiana, and you can see all the cypress trees lined on either side of this little strip of interstate here. You know, one thing I always thought was cool about cypress trees in a hurricane was you'll never see a cypress tree uprooted from a hurricane. You might see one snapped, but you'll never see one uprooted. And it actually looks like these trees fared pretty well. This is much closer to where the eye of the storm passed, and I don't see very much tree damage on these cypress at all. Now, they are a little bit brown, which is kind of early for this time of the year, so there could be a little bit wind burnt, but they're still standing. But as I expect as we get a little bit further west, we'll start seeing some more major damage. All right, so now we're in Codys, Louisiana, St. Charles Parish, and you're starting to see it. Blue tarp on the roof. Let's see, here's some friends of mine who have a business called Louisiana Sportsman. Look like they did well. And then their sportsman gear. Looks like they did well. He got hit pretty good. So yeah, you can see, you know, linemen everywhere. Traffic lights out, trees down. So we're really starting to see it now. I just got into Lafourche Parish, starting to head south now. A lot of traffic. You know, they have one of the highways shut down. I guess they're probably using that highway for trucks that come in to repair infrastructure. So we're all kind of packed into this little 2-lane highway here, and I'm trying to get further south. Golly, look at all that tree. And this is just part of it. So as you can see, this is how power runs throughout the areas. And a lot of these poles were snapped or bent over. So they had to come in and put in new poles to be able to restore electricity to this area. Lots and lots of roof damage. These roofs take a beating. Lots and lots of trees down. If you need firewood, come take a ride to Louisiana. We're gonna have a lot of it. I mean, just something as simple as getting fuel for your generator. There's a line to get fuel. This line really isn't that bad. I've seen it, you know, these lines close to being half a mile long to get fuel. So, bless these people here. We have our line crews pulling up to fix a line there. You know, these guys are the heroes after these storms. They come in and restore electricity for folks. You know, we got to live with our electricity. There they are, some more linemen. got to replace as many poles that are down, and it's a lot. And look, that one down there fell over right there. They had to cut it off and get a new one up. More line work. Got these guys working. See, there's a line, a pole that's going over. That's what they got to do. Look at the lines on the ground. Just come in and put all that back together. Hope we don't have another one. Last year we had a big one at the end of October. So we still have time to have another one. Let's hope we don't. I just got to my first stop. I'm at Codys Place in Lafourche, Louisiana. We're about the halfway point between Highway 90, which runs kind of east to west along the bottom part of our state, and the Gulf of Mexico. So he's not that far from the Gulf. So he got a good bit of surge coming up. This is the intercoastal waterway here that he lives on. There was a good bit of surge that came up it and a lot of wind. He said there's a shrimper nearby clocked in somewhere around, what, 175?
169.
169 is what the wind speed clocked in at. So you can pretty much bet that he had at least 150 mile an hour gusts here, and we're about to go look around and see what's left.
For the last 22, 23 years, I worked in and around the oil field, and I'm getting 40 now. Started working for myself, doing taxidermy, mostly bone work, sword bills, marlin bills, fish tails, preserving all of that good stuff. A lot of deer heads, a lot of pig skulls and whatnot. Last year I've been doing it for myself, and you know, I had a nice shop going and whatnot, and now we're gonna just start back from square one, start building a new shop and try to pull everything together, save whatever tools we could, equipment, and make it work.
Do y'all live within a major levee here?
We don't.
Okay, so this is...
We are outside, right outside the levee system. The levee system's right on the other side of this canal. We open to Lake Salvador. The intercoastal canal runs all the way to Homa, so there's no protection really. We are a higher ground than most of the people down the bayou, but the water came up high.
So Codys House did actually pretty well. No water in the house.
No water in the house.
No major damage. They're actually staying here. Y'all staying here with generator power?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We were prepared. We grabbed 55-gallon drum of fuel, a generator, and made sure all our frozen stuff was good. I was able to help a few different people out in the neighborhood that weren't able to come back in. I went set up their generators and ran them for them, so they had some frozen food left when they got back. And then 3 days I was by myself doing it all, and then the 4th day she showed up with the family, so I had some help. It was a relief. It was just a relief.
So what we got here, this is our first...
This was our little hangout shed. We well, I had all my freezers in here for the taxidermy stuff. I lost some things, but not everything. We call it the fishing shed because the boys are always in here fishing.
You could see the fryers we cooked.
Yeah, we'd fry, have a party, hang out.
Little more.
The water would have been, as far as the brick, would have been somewhere about right here. But that shed, the bottom of the shed was underwater. Everything was pushed up from it, floating out. The dock was completely in the water, about 1.5 feet. The waves in the middle of the bayou were somewhere between 7 and 8 foot, but on the sides it stayed low. It just, I guess, coming up the contour, it would break the waves, but it was rushing. It was like a river. I've never seen anything like it in real life.
I'm sorry, is that the intercoastal or the bayou?
This is the intercoastal.
Okay.
The Bayou Lafourche has a lock right here, and it runs south from there.
So where did your water come in from?
Here, from the intercoastal. What it was is when the wind came from this direction,
so
it
into Salvador and then into the...
Yeah, from Salvador it would have pushed in, and then everything would have built up. And whenever the wind started coming back, there's a lot of marsh there. There's a lot of area for that water to build up without coming up. When it all came back, it was too much, and it just started flooding everything. It wasn't until the second half of the storm that it flooded really bad. It started coming in waves, you know. There was fish everywhere, crocus. I was stepping on crocus everywhere, and crabs. Threw a few dozen crabs out the yard. Fish that I never seen before.
Yeah.
Coming up.
So what you're gonna see is what's left over from his taxidermy shop. I'll put some photos up so you can see what it looked like before. It's stuff like this, it's like unfathomable. You can't really even wrap your head around it, you know, that it was there, it was solid, he worked in it. The man, like he said, not long ago left a full-time job to come work for himself and do this. This was his place of business, and now it's just gone, completely gone. He has to start over.
Had another side of it, and this was a big canopy. It was a closed-in shop. This is my work table, all my tools. All the lockers were full of my tools, all the drawers. I was able to save some tools in that steel box.
So what percentage of tools and materials you feel like you were able to save?
About 15–20%. A lot of it I can't find.
Yeah.
It's just not there. Shed's down. The dock's completely under the water. The whole shed's gone. We still have a trailer, and it's still up. We always stored stuff in here for hurricanes because it was a cinder block strong building, and you know, we lost everything. In the back section, my dad passed away a few months ago, and I was able to go take everything out of his home and store it back here, and it all got ruined.
So here's, you know, part of a cinder block wall just knocked down completely. Mostly force of wind, huh? Yeah,
this was all wind. The wind knocked it down, and the water destroyed it.
Right.
The mud, it smells. It smells so bad. This is a swordfish tail that I was preserving, drawing out, and I'm gonna have to go back to step one with it. All right, so this is a swordfish bill, and this will be the top of the bill, and this will be the bottom. It sits like this on the fish, and that's what they use to wax stuff in 2,000 feet deep of water in the pitch black. That's what they hunt with. This is a sword bill that a customer's gonna be coming pick up once they can get down here. This is a completed one. This one's been completely preserved, and he wanted it painted with a swordfish on it. It's all epoxied, and then I turn around and I fill them with epoxy, so it's completely sealed up.
So Cody actually stayed. He's a better man than me. I would have probably left knowing what was coming. I mean, that was a big storm, but he stayed, and you know, the way he was describing the winds and things, it's you really can't even wrap your head around it till you've been through it.
Okay, so the first night I slept, and the next morning when I woke up, it was getting a little windy, and I stayed around the corner at a brick home that they had evacuated from, and it's some friends of ours, so I wanted to stay there instead of our trailer. And when the wind started picking up, you know, they had branches flying and whatnot, nothing real serious, but then there was a time probably 3 hours before the eye hit here, till the eye really came close, that you couldn't even look out of a window. The sound, to explain the way I think about it, like you go 100 miles an hour in a car, you know, the car is cutting through the wind, and that's the sound you hear. But whenever there's 100+ mile an hour winds going by you and you standing still, everything has a whistle. Like when you swing a stick through the air and it whistles, everything has a whistle. No matter how big it is, the trees whistle, the sound, like I said, tell people, even like the movie Twister, they can't reproduce that sound. It's a mixture of machinery and wind and metal flying and bending, and I hope I never have to hear it again, but it was an incredible sound.
Knowing what you know now, would you stay again?
No, the main reason I'm glad I did stay is to learn my lesson to never stay again. It's not worth it. All of these things are replaceable. Even the sentimentals, you can replace all of it. But you know, health, you can't replace a person, and all of these things can be bought again. So no, I'll never do it again. It's taken a toll. You know, we worked until noon today, and I really don't even want to look at it anymore right now. You know, the sentimental things that are in there, the pictures of my family that are stuck together that I don't have anymore, I decided to let it go, and I'm just going to bulldoze it all and start fresh. Because it's going to hurt more to go through everything and see it in the condition it's in than just to see it all go away.
Y'all heard it. That's why I wanted to get down. And look, they may be telling these stories in the news. I really don't know. I don't watch the news. I watch YouTube and social media, so that's what's going on. If there's anything you can do to help, do it, please. All right, now if you saw this and you want to help, a buddy of Cody's actually started a GoFundMe for him so they could start working on getting his shop back going and get back to making a living. So if you go down into the description of this video, there'll be a link for Cody's GoFundMe to donate if that's something you feel like you want to do. And of course, get in touch with me if you're not sure or if you want to know more. All right, so I just met Brody here on the street. You know, all these hard-headed people, they don't want to take too much supplies, but we got a truck full of it. But he's able to take a few things, and he's got something he wants to say.
Yeah, man, a lot of places in these parishes, a lot of people are getting forgot about, and not that we're not thankful for what's being done here. I don't think nobody understands the reality of this until they come and see it firsthand. A picture's only going to do so much justice, and I just hope we get help sooner than later, because it's getting worse before it's getting better, you know. Imagine living in your house where they have partial damages, where, I mean, we're grateful that we didn't lose everything, but sleeping a lot of people in rooms where everybody's memories have just been washed away for their lifetimes, man. Seeing what everybody worked for all their lives to just be destroyed in a matter of hours, days, it's kind of heartbreaking, man. I hope people could understand, and if anybody ever been to a hunting camp and roughing it with no water and supplies and stuff, go get a taste of that, and you could kind of get a grasp of this is on an Ames back. It's not even the full scale. We need resources, man. If anything y'all could get down here, anything is appreciated at this time. Thank y'all.
All right, bro. All right, so now I'm on Ile de Jean Charles, which is a little bit south of Houma, Louisiana. This is a ridge out in the marsh, and it really has a lot of history behind it. And it's a cool place because it's significant for the history of our native population here in Louisiana. You hear a lot about our French, our Creole, our Cajun, even sometimes our Spanish heritage, but you don't really hear a lot about our native heritage here in Louisiana. So I have the chief, Mr. Albert Nakan, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't know too much, and I'm going to let him kind of explain a little bit about the island and then a little bit about what happened here for Ida and how they hope to bounce back and hopefully keep this place alive. You know, this is one of those places in Louisiana that's in danger of washing away altogether. So let's see what he has to say.
I'm Chief Albert Nakan, and we're on, I guess we're on the drainage levee of Ile de Jean Charles. And I'm probably a quarter mile from where I was born and raised. Our tribal name is Ile de Jean Charles, Biloxi, Chitimacha, Choctaw Indians of Louisiana. That's our official name. It's 1835, after the Removal Act of 1830. The Indian was kind of scattered, and the Choctaw came from Mississippi-Alabama border and crossed the river, and then some of our people came south to South Louisiana, and the Biloxi came from Mobile, Biloxi to Bayou St. John in New Orleans, and then we all met up here with the Chittimachas to band for strength to fight the government, but we never had to. I guess for the Great Depression, we didn't even know there was a depression because we lived off the land. So you know, it was we had gardens, we had I guess domestic animals like chickens, cows, pigs, and we fished. I mean, those that didn't fish or grew gardens, you know, where people was sharing. You know, we shared a lot.
So how many families still live here?
There was 15 families. Well, 15 homes anyway. Probably about 17, because there was 2 families living in 2 homes. Well,
Gotcha.
four family lives in 2 homes.
Gotcha.
So 2 to 1 home and
So
2.
about, look at it, dude. About 15 permanent residents on the island?
Yes.
Like this is their home, this is where they live?
There was 15 homes, 15 homes and 17 residents, well, families.
Yeah. In your mind, why would someone continue to want to live here?
I guess this is home. This is what they know, and it's a quiet place, you know. No traffic. So and the rest, I know 3 of them. One of them is retired, so he doesn't do anything. But the other 3 that wants to live here, they go out fishing every day. You know, the 2 of them don't drive, and so they go out fishing with a little boat every day. Now we at Dominique's property. This was Bernadette's house, and Zeta got rid of this, and behind me is Dominique Jr.'s house, and he's going to want to stay. And over on the other side of the bayou is Levis's house, and he wants to stay. So we're trying to find trailers for them to stay, so we'd have to put a boat on the other side of the bayou, because we can't put a trailer on the other side of the bayou.
So this was a trailer here, went down during Zeta last year.
Zeta last year, yes.
Okay, but here for Ida, this house was standing for Ida. This house here, and it's gone. And then this house was gone as well for Ida. The reason we stopped here is these are not fishing camps. This isn't for like leisure, to come, go fishing, bring your family on the weekend. These people lived here. Like this was their permanent residence. They had heritage here, part of the native population that, you know, that really founded this island. They were trying to keep it going, doing their best to keep the heritage alive, and Ida took it.
The people moved off the island. This is Roy Nakhan's house. I mean, the house was destroyed on the island, I think in 2002. And they moved here, they bought this house here. Now this house is destroyed. So less than 20 years, they lost 2 homes. That's Johnny Verdun's house. He left from down Pontchartrain and moved here. I don't know when, but yeah, he lost his house over there, but I'm not too sure exactly when, because he's not from the island. So but I know it's been here for a long time, and now his house is destroyed too. So I don't know.
Hey, buddy. What you doing? You eating some oranges?
Dude was getting him some oranges or something, huh? All right. All right, so I'm still down at Point of Shen. I was riding around the neighborhoods trying to get rid of some of the supplies. I came across Caitlin. We hooked her up with a few things. But I mean, you gotta realize right now, these folks are living without running water. So she came up with a little idea I'm gonna show y'all. Cause you know, we all got to use the bathroom. It is what it is. It's force of nature, right? So look at what she's been doing up here. Tell them what you've been doing.
We have been putting buckets, bowls, anything that can get rainwater for us to flush our toilets. We have no running water, so we use it to flush our toilets. And that's just how we survive, and you know, and cleaning as we go. And we just making it that way to flush our toilets.
So when I was giving out supplies to folks out the back of my truck, I didn't really film it. I didn't feel right doing that. Like, hey, I got some stuff. Sorry, you're going through what you're going through. Do you mind if I film you? It didn't feel right. I'm glad I was able to do it, and thank you so much to my friends who helped donate to be able to do that. But it's like, man, it just opened your eyes to like the things we take for granted. You know, I was giving out simple stuff, toilet paper, battery, you know, just stuff that like I could run to the store and get tomorrow, you know, but these folks don't have a store. There is no store. Store is destroyed, you know, or at least not able to be powered up. So if you're able to and you live anywhere around South Louisiana, load up your car, go give some stuff away. I promise you, you'll feel a lot better about it than they will. Like, you're helping people. You're showing people that you see them, that we recognize you're in a tough place, because I think that's part of what they're feeling right now is just unseen. And look, I'm not saying what the media's job is to do, and the media should be down there every day. They covered it, they got their story, they're gone. But it's still fresh. It hasn't even been 2 weeks. So they just want to, I think it's just nice to know that someone gives a shit, honestly. Like, so if you're able to go do something like that, go do it. It'll probably take you a full day just with traffic and everything. But anyway, I'm just kind of reflecting. It's hard to really say what I want to say after it. But no, so really, I mean, look, thank you for watching. Please don't forget about us down here. Not me. My family's fine. We did well. But communities like Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche Parish, Grand Isle, even Braithwaite, close to where I live, flooded. So this thing's going to be ongoing for a long time for these folks, putting them pieces back together. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please like the video and click the notifications bell down below so you know when we put out a new one. All right, we'll see y'all soon.